The loss of a baby is incredibly painful for any family. A stillbirth is the loss of a baby before or during delivery. One local couple experienced what no parent ever wants to endure. Here's their story of how a nurse navigator helped them through one of the most difficult moments of their lives.
Hi, Julie.
Nurse Julie Christofferson has a special bond with the Thompson family. She is the aunt of Kaylee Thompson, helped deliver Kaylee, and was even present when Kaylee gave birth to her first child 2 years ago. Julie has since moved on from being a nurse on the floor and is now a nurse navigator for perinatal care and bereavement at community medical centers. She works with patients whose babies have a genetic diagnosis or a patient who experiences a loss, like a miscarriage or stillbirth. Julie never thought she'd be helping Kaylee like she did recently. Earlier this year, Kaylee and her husband Dylan found out they were expecting their second child. They were thrilled.
I did the genetic testing, and it was between 15 and 16 weeks, they gave me a call saying my AFP levels were high, so they wanted me to come in and do an ultrasound just to confirm, or to see why that would be.
Their world came to a standstill when they found out their boy inside, who they had named Oliver, had spina bifida.
It was difficult at first to find out that we had a child that may have some, some difficulties in life from his spina bifida, but ultimately we were still just really excited to still get to have another baby.
Spina bifida is a neural tube defect where the spine and spinal cord don't form properly. It can cause physical and intellectual disabilities that range from mild to severe. The Thompsons were ready to take on the role of raising a child with disabilities, but suddenly, Kaylee stopped feeling Oliver's movement inside.
I texted Julie on the way to the hospital and I was like, hey, we're coming in, just to let you know, I don't feel him kicking. She met me up in the triage area of the labor and delivery. And she put the monitor on my belly, and there wasn't a heartbeat. And that was pretty heartbreaking.
An ultrasound confirmed Oliver was gone.
It was probably the most painful, emotional experience I've ever had to go through.
I myself went through losing a stillborn baby 24 years ago. So there's some common experience that helps me, and I feel like I can help them by knowing the things that helped me.
Julie stepped in to help the Thompsons as they prepared to give birth to their child who was no longer alive.
There's a lot we've learned about stillborn babies and babies that aren't going to live for very long after they're born, and we try to help parents create as many memories in the short time that they've got, because we know once they leave the hospital, their time to bond with their baby is done.
Both Kaylee and Dylan reflect back on the day they saw Oliver for the first and last time.
For me, the hardest part was right after he was born, just the silence of seeing your baby come out and not hearing the cries or anything. It tears at you.
When I think about the day that I delivered Oliver and our experience with getting to have him at the hospital, I don't look back on it as a bleak experience, but more of just like a sweet memory of, the only time I got to be with my child. And that really was thanks to the hospital staff, but mostly thanks to Julie.
Julie helped the Thompsons create lasting memories with Oliver, including taking pictures and marking his footprints. She also guided them, as she does with similar patients, to figure out funeral arrangements and the next steps towards healing.
Probably the most important thing I try to instill in them is hope. Healing will come. As I think that families just need to know that, it's not going to be like this forever.
I don't know how we would have gotten through this without Julie. I think it would have been, a near impossible experience. But to have her there and to have her as the resource through this all has been, I can't even express how grateful I am to have her.